Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alain. Saturday, I think. My days are running together. We're going to talk about a book today, The Patriot, based on the novelization. It's a novel by Stephen Molstad based on the screenplay by Robert Rodat. You can see Mel Gibson there on the cover of the book because he starred in the movie that I enjoyed back when it came out. And I had this paperback novelization on the bookshelf and one of the ones I grabbed to quickly read and finish. And I'm going to talk about it today. Trying to get back into normal after the surgery. You can see the arm still in a sling. I can move it now. Most of the numbness and deadness is worn off, and the pain has set in. And the worst pain is right here on the top, and that's where the big incision is, where they went in and did most of the work. And so I can move my fingers sort of, but yeah, it's hurting. And it's 8 o'clock, I took the Narca, whatever those high-speed painkillers they prescribed an hour ago. But, just dealing with it. But it'll get better. Drinking out of the book mug. I said, trying to be as normal as we can after this surgery. Good morning, Thad. Appreciate you being here, saying hello. So just one book today, be a short one. I just finished this the other day, The Patriot. Again, it's a novel by Stephen Molstad, but it was based on the screenplay. So it follows the movie pretty close. If you've ever read these kind of books that come after the screenplay, you pretty much know the story if you've seen the movie, which I have. But it was still an enjoyable read, quick, light read, good action story. And a lot of times in these novelizations, you do get a little bit more in depth into some different things that they can write about that they don't really portray much on the screen. And so I really did enjoy this, even though it did follow the screenplay and you sort of knew what was going to come. It was a fun, quick little read. Yeah, I enjoyed the movie too. Maybe I'll see if it's streaming somewhere and try to watch it again. But that's, good little book. If you like the movie, you'd like the book. And I would encourage you to read the books that come from the movies. One of the best I ever read was Stephen Morell's First Blood Part 2 and First Blood Part 3. Because Rambo died in the original First Blood, if you didn't know that. But he lived in the movies. And David Morrell wrote the little thing at the beginning of First Blood 2. This character originally died, but because of the movies, I get to write about him again. And him writing about that character again gave more depth to it than the movie showed. So that was one of the best novelizations from a screenplay that I can remember. But I've read quite a few of them, and they're fun to read. Dixon's here. Dixon said, don't forget, chicks really dig a guy with a scar. Well, I got a couple more. So I have enough, but, I don't need the chicks digging scars. I got a wife, right? But I am going to have a nice new scar both sides of this wrist, one along the top here and then a small one on the bottom. That part of getting older, right? And the life we lead. That's what I wanted to share today. I'm going to hop off, see if I can get something done today and just pretty much rest up the arm more because it is definitely hurting. So The Patriot, good novelization. If you like the movie, check out the book. You probably like it too. Everybody, make it a spectacular Saturday. We'll be back and see you tomorrow.